I am the healer known as Deep Sixpack. Some of you may have known me in my previous life as Johnny Pissoff. Those of you who know my story know how the Red Angel once sang me a lecture on how to overcome my meanness. And some of you may recall the song The Iliad and how I pulled away from all those prejudices and divisions that were botching up my karma. My life started to blossom just about the time that Richard Nixon waved goodbye from the helicopter. I began selling Red Angel t-shirts when the t-shirt craze first hit, and I was organizing meanness wipeout seminars on weekends at the Holiday Inn. Boy, the money was really good. Well, I got married in the late 1970s. Gladys and I were living just down the street from a toxic waste dump. And then we had a child born with terrible deformities, and the rage just overwhelmed me again, and I became a direct action guy against chemical pollution. I just hated polluters. It's a complicated story, but I sort of evolved into a New Age survivalist. And I have to admit to becoming an aficionado of weaponry. I felt that if you're going to stop cancer spreaders, you have to employ real-time threats. There were a bunch of articles by bleeding heart investigative journalists painting me out as a New Age gun nut. Can you believe that? Boy, what are they talking about? By the 1990s, after the first Gulf War, I was kind of living on this huge yo-yo of bliss out and piss off. For instance, the first World Trade Center bombing, and then when Clinton burned down the Branch Davidians, that was in '93, it brought back all of my hatred, and I started attending militia meetings. Well, then came the Oklahoma City bombing, and I was just horrified at how bonkers these right-wing nuts can get. I agreed with the Second Amendment that the right of the people to bear arms should not be infringed. I just didn't think it should be lunatic-fringed. For me, the months after Oklahoma City were an all-engulfing torment. Then one morning, the burning fascicle of anger in my mind, whoosh! Well, it just went out, and I felt such bliss again, newborn, radiant. And I finally made a real attempt to follow the advice of the Red Angel. And I had my Uzi and my World War II flamethrower bronzed, and I put them out there on the edge of my wetland. After that, I tried everything to stay calm. I organized drum circles for former gun nuts and tried tree climbing therapy, and a bunch of us read Robert Frost to dolphins. I was trying to get all my personalities into the same line of work. I healed up most of my strangeness, for instance, studying black hole theory at MIT, and one of my personalities wrote his PhD thesis on the cyclical nature of weirdness. Man, I was in real good shape. Then came September 11th, 2001, and dang it all, I lost my grip once again. And all I could think about was that ancient Latin hymn, the Dies Irae, the Day of Rage. The day of total wrath shall dissolve the world into flaming cinders, as David learned from the Sibyl. The tuba in the sky, spreading a sound of miracles, shall drive all before the throne of thrones. And my favorite line, cor contritum quasi canis, my heart contrite as ashes. I lost all sense of peace and happiness in the left anterior temporal region of my noggin. I just hated foreigners. I set up a website that opened up with a mushroom cloud and the words, "Let's nuke them Arabs. Nuke them now." I felt like Rudyard Kipling with a brain tumor. I mean, I just felt so negative. Well, of course, after 9/11, I had to keep on supporting my family, so I put out a line of bumper stickers. Muhammad eats little green putty balls. But I started getting a lot of threats on my website, so I pulled them out of the stores. Gladys and I and our friends, we began preparing for total war. We were stockpiling herbal remedies, potassium iodide, generators, tofu jerky, and stuff like that to survive the complete conflagration we were sure was right here, right now, 24/7, all the way to heaven. Heaven. Then came the war in Iraq, and my nephew, Johnny, he was named after me, quit his job at the insurance agency and enlisted in the Army. He wasn't there but a few days when his Humvee, without protective armoring, blew up, escorting some Halliburton guys from the Baghdad airport. They were carrying 5 suitcases packed with $1,000 bills, and that was it. The total angst I'd felt before was now blended with total grief. My whole family were just totally destroyed by this. I sat in my house for a few months just reading the hundreds of emails that came in each day depicting what was really going on in the White House and all the lies about the war. I realized there was a lot of stuff they kept deliberately secret, but some things just stayed simple, like a lot of my friends having their kids all screwed up from depleted uranium they got exposed to while fighting Bush family wars. And once again, just like back when I was a kid, the Red Angel came into my mind, and she was singing. She was singing once more to me. When the Red Angel comes and the TV is cold, will you pray in the dawn for the rest of your soul? When you lie in a dour death coma, do you think you're gonna go to heaven, oh Johnny, with a violent heart, with a violent heart? Are you ready, oh Johnny? Ready? Ahimsa, oh Johnny, ahimsa. In the spinning confusion, ahimsa. In the flood of life, death, and torture, ahimsa. Ahimsa. When the Red Angel comes and the TV is cold, will you pray in the dawn for the rest of your soul? When you lie in a dour death coma, do you think you're gonna go to heaven, oh Johnny, with a violent heart? Just about the time they started talking about impeaching Bush, I discovered the actual healing power of six-packs, the laying on of six-packs. I came across it almost like a joke one weekend out at a NASCAR race. Just for the heck of it, I laid a cold six-pack on a friend and cured his asthma. Don't laugh, please. They do heal her. I'm not sure how. Maybe it's the metal and the ancient liquid sloshing around inside, but it works, my fellow humans. I mean, it really works. Well, I began putting on big pack healing conferences in hockey arenas, and I decided to change my name to confuse the past. That's when I, Jonathan Abner Tobias Pissoff, became the healer known as Deep Sixpack. And I'm going to be at the I-80 Truck Plaza this weekend doing big pack healing, so maybe you'll stop by. And I, Jonathan Abner Tobias Pissoff, now Deep Sixpack, thank you so very much. And may the big pack bless you forever and ever and ever and ever.